What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So guess what? Ableton 11 just came out today, or yesterday for you guys watching it today. So we're gonna go through Ableton Live, all the new features and the new cool things about it so that you can decide if you need to get an upgrade to Ableton Live 11 or if you should just stick with 10 anyways. So let's get right into this. Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing all the heavy lifting for you and figuring out exactly what all these new functionalities and things like that really mean so that you guys don't have to watch the videos, read the descriptions on everything, and try to figure out what it actually means before you purchase it. So don't even worry about it. I'm going to take you through everything and show you exactly what Ableton 11 has to offer. So this is the website right here, and it's sharing all the new information, what's new in live. And obviously you can try it for free for 90 days. So if you want to go ahead and try it out anyways, just to see what it's like, you can do that. You just got to use a different email than the one you've been using for your live, assuming you already have a version of Ableton Live. So we're going to go through all the different features here, and we're going to talk about all the new things that Ableton has to offer. Okay, so the first thing we're looking at is comping, and this looks pretty freaking awesome. So if you're someone that records either live vocals, so you're rapping, singing, doing something like that, or if you're recording your instruments on it, like you play the guitar or you're recording your drums into it, something along the sort like that. What the new feature does on here is it allows you to like loop a certain section, and instead of it like looping out the session in the same exact lane, the same exact audio file, it's going to make separate lanes for you. You can see it right here in this preview picture. Every time it loops again, it's going to save it into a new lane so that you don't have to start and stop and do a new comp and start and stop and do a new comp. You can literally just go do your take, and you can go right back again when it comes around to the part to start recording again. So it's going to be saving everything into these new lanes for you. It looks super freaking awesome if that's something that you do in Ableton. Looks like they also made a super easy way to go ahead and select the certain parts of each lane that you want to keep. As you can see here on this picture, you just drag along the little cursor there, the pencil icon, and you select which part you want without having to cut and delete everything and make it really nasty. It does it all for you just by selecting the part that you want to keep. So another cool thing is this is also going to work with MIDI tracks. I mean, I would have assumed that off of the bat. So if you're playing the piano on your MIDI keyboard or trying to get down something on your keyboard, all of these same rules and effects will work for that as well. Okay, so I was talking about this a little bit before, but it allows you to go ahead and link certain tracks together so that you can make the same edits to each of them. And the best way to really describe this is to watch this really quickly. We're going to mute the audio, but just watch the screen really quick and you can see that they have multiple layers linked together. And when they edit one, it does edits to all of them. Okay, so that concludes the comping. Let's move on to the next section, which is called add more feeling to your music. So already looking at this looks like it's going to be like randomizing velocities and being able to have more control over modulation and things of that sort. But we're going to get exactly into those details right now. So right off rip, this looks like it's going to be useful for controllers and MIDIs and different things like that. We're seeing that there is a little MPE control little plugin that jumps on here, and it lets you modulate things like pressure, slide, and pitch based off the functionality that you have on here, whether you have little turn knobs or you have something that lets you kind of add some pizzazz to the notes. Sometimes it'll be like a transpose little wheel on your MIDI keyboard and things like that. So this actually gives you a little more control over exactly what that wheel will control, or however you have it set up for your controller. Okay, so this part's actually pretty crazy. So you actually have control over all those things we just talked about, and you can put them in each separate lane like you're seeing in the picture right here. So it makes it really nice instead of having to switch between each. You remember in the old live, you had to go down to the drop-down menu and pick the thing that you wanted to transpose and modulate. Well, now you can just do that all in one lane, just adding layers on top of each other and stacking it like that. That's going to be really useful, especially when you want to blend certain things together. Like if you want the pitch and velocity to do a certain thing together, it can be kind of frustrating to go through that toggle and then go through each one of those settings. Now you can do it all in one row. Another really cool thing, and this is going to bring in those awesome pitch glides on your 808s and things like that. We're about to watch a really quick clip of this video. You'll see how easy it is to draw in these little different transitions or whatever you might want to be modulating in the mix. So check this out really quick. You can see when he's using this pencil tool, you literally just drag it out and it makes it that simple for you. No more having to click in each little point. You can literally just draw it like it's an actual pencil. It's super amazing. Shout out to Ableton for that. Okay, so now it looks like we're moving on to some new effects and new devices that you can use in your beats that Ableton has. So it looks like we have a new hybrid reverb, which is a combination of the convolution and algorithmic reverb. So it's like the best of both reverbs there. And it looks like it's going to be really dope to play with. Looks like there's a new spectral resonator, which is going to allow you to see the waveforms and things like that in a totally new way to help you kind of understand what's happening with the sound in real time. This one looks pretty cool. It's called Spectral Time, which what it does is it feeds the sound into a frequency-based delay, which gives it some kind of metallic echoes, frequency shifts, and reverb-like effects. That sounds pretty darn cool to me. Alright, this one's called Pitch Loop 89, which gives us some glitch and jittery kind of crazy effects like that, which is something Ableton had kind of been lacking on until then. And then it looks like we have a suite of some different kinds of instruments here that we can use that are inspired by nature. So that's what these look like right here. Those will be fun to play with. Okay, so a new feature that Ableton Live has is this little follow thing that you can see on the screen right now. What follow does is it's going to be really useful for live sets and things of that sort. What it's going to do is it's going to listen to the audio come in and adjust the tempo for you automatically. So if you're doing like a DJ set and you're trying to get from one song to the next and switch the BPMs in your set, Ableton will now do that for you automatically without you having to modulate or do anything crazy to do that. Okay, so now it looks like we can configure up to 16 different macros, and if you're not sure what that is, that's like building your own audio effect rack. What it's going to allow you to do is have different knobs for different effects that it may be controlling with effects that are on the audio effect rack. Now you can add up to 16 of them, which is kind of crazy. I think the cutoff before might have been like 8 or 10, so now you have way more control over that. Yeah, so this is kind of what those different variations would look like, and now you have an option to go ahead and save some of your presets. So if you went ahead and dialed in each of those 16 macros, you can now save a preset of that, so then you can go back to it later if you wanted to. Once again, this is going to be really useful for like live sets and things like that, where you want to change up the effects and how things sound on the fly. So now it even looks like there's a randomizer that you can click and it'll randomize what each one is set to. So that's pretty cool as well. Okay, so moving on, it looks like there's going to be a lot more variable when it comes to randomizing velocity, note chance, and different things like that, which is something that was kind of there in Ableton but wasn't as nice as I'd liked it to be. So now it looks like they have updated effects to make that a little bit easier for you. You can see over here what that sort of looks like. And it looks like it's going to be a lot easier to add some more randomization in there to make your drums or your samples or whatever you have more randomized and human feeling. Okay guys, let's now talk about some of the new sounds, and my jaw just dropped when I saw this because Ableton has actually teamed up with Spitfire Audio. Spitfire Audio makes all those crazy contact banks that you see me using that are out of this world amazing sounding. So the fact that Ableton went with them is going to change the game, because honestly, Ableton's instruments and different presets for things like that, I would never ever use. Not even once. So the fact that they're stepping up their game is going to make a huge difference for them in that area. So we got some awesome pianos, quartets, some strings. Okay, and we also have these curated collections, which are going to be instruments that you can use, clips, and even different samples that range in these different categories here. So we have a voice box, which is obviously going to be like some vocals and vox and things like that you can use. We have a mood reel, which is going to help set the mood and get some emotion in space and probably textures and stuff like that in your productions. You have Drone Lab right here, which is saying that it's tonal textural samples with generative noise, multi-sampled instruments. and devices and effect racks that are designed for experimentation. So that sounds pretty cool as well. Okay guys, so we pretty much covered everything, and the other thing is that there's going to be a lot of new stuff that's available for Max for Live. I'm not going to really go over all of it. A lot of it has to do with performance, new ways that creators can make and push out their different projects and instruments and things like that, and just a lot of things to make Max for Live a lot easily integrated into Ableton. But that's going to require you to have Ableton Suite to have access to those different Max for Live settings and things. Okay, so let's jump over to the pricing now. So if you already have a version of Ableton, to upgrade, the pricing is going to look like this. Now, I'm not sure if the pricing is going to be different for you. I started with the Suite, so it might be a little more expensive if you started with Standard per se, but it might not also. I have no idea. So to upgrade to the Standard is going to be $159, and to upgrade to Live 11 Suite is going to be $230. And remember, I said there is a 90-day free trial, so you can also try it out beforehand to see if you're even going to want to do it anyways. So I assume that most of us watching this already have Live, but if you don't, let's look at the brand new licenses. Okay, so you can get the intro, which is just going to have the bare essentials that you need for 99 bucks. You can get Standard, which has all the features and things like that, for 450. And then Live 11 Suite is going to be 750, and that has everything that you could want. So the reasons that you would go for Suite versus just the Standard is going to be for Ableton Max for Live and all the different audio effects and instruments that are included with it as well. So you can see the Standard one only has 6 software instruments, whereas the Suite has all 17. You have 36 audio effects versus 59 audio effects. A couple more MIDI effects. That's not too crazy or anything. So really, if you're going to be upgrading and you want to know, like, is it worth it to go with the Suite? If you already have a lot of audio, if you already have like a lot of third-party plugins that you use and that you're fine with, then you really don't need to get the Suite. But if you want to test out all the new things that it has to offer and you want to be able to use Max for Live, then I would say go for the Suite. Okay guys, and there's only one thing left for me to do here. Let's go ahead and buy this bad boy. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys like this one. You got to see a little preview of everything that Live 11 has to offer. And in the next few episodes here, we're going to be actually testing out some of the new things that we've been talking about, so I can show you an in-depth guide and examples of each of the different things. So, if you like this one, please smash that like button for me, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we're uploading daily videos that you're not going to want to miss out on. And besides that, I'll be catching you guys again in the next one. Peace out!